Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh my goodness, man, what a couple games last night. Happy Sunday, last week of the regular season. Ravens Steelers tonight. I'm not sure exactly where I want to start, so I'll just blab here for about a minute about what happened in these games yesterday. Starting with the Bucks and the Panthers, it's going to be a miracle if one of those two teams are going to win next week. Looking like they're going to face the Rams. I just don't see it, especially if the Panthers somehow get into the playoffs as the Rams lost to them. Was it about a month or so ago? There's not a world where the Panthers are beating the Rams twice. And the Buccaneers are just so bad. They're so fundamentally bad on so many things. They get the kick block, it's just penalties. And yeah, the first drive was nice, but apparently teams are able to make adjustments. Baker just can't get the ball down the field. I don't see a world where they beat the Rams. Now, if, based on what happened last night, the Seahawks get the 1 seed and the 49ers are most likely to get the 6 seed because the Rams just seem to beat the Cardinals. If the Niners somehow get the 5 seed, maybe the Bucks can beat the Niners. And maybe the Panthers can beat the Niners. I don't know. But it seems like a foregone conclusion that the Rams are going to get the 5 seed and the Niners are going to end up with the 6 seed as Seattle just beat the absolute crap out of the 49ers last night. Pretty dominant. Pretty statement, man, we're the best team in the NFC. They're going to get the bye. McDonald's going to get extra time to prepare. They haven't been as good at home, so it'll be interesting to see. Most likely they're going to have to face the Rams in a rematch. It'll be the third time they would have played this season. That's looking like round 2, Seahawks Rams. So that should be fun. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but that was the main takeaway from last night, as the Niners now basically can't win the NFC. There's just not a world where they're going on the road and beating Philadelphia or Chicago and beating both of them, frankly. And then I just don't see it. The Niners were exposed. It didn't help to not have the left tackle, Trent Williams, last night, but the Niners just aren't that good. So they benefit from a soft schedule. Seahawks destroyed them yesterday, and the Panthers and the Bucks are just irrelevant. It's just a weird game. I got lucky to cover, I guess. I mean, a lot of penalties went against against the Panthers. But yeah, the Bucks can't score. The first drive of the game was it. So, all right, let's talk about today. You know what? I'll just go with this Ravens Steelers game first because I feel like I've thought about this now, just probably like everybody else, way too much. And I've decided that if I was game planning here and I was the Ravens defense, I just need to do all-out blitz tonight. I need to not overthink this. I don't want to try to out maneuver Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to try to confuse them with different guys popping back into the zone and defensive linemen are dropping back. And it's just not the game for that. He is unwilling, unable, probably both, to move inside the pocket. He just can't move. He left so many plays on the table last week against the Browns where he just has an inability to step up. And, the new football is about, can the quarterback run for 4, 5, 6 yards, at least be a threat to do so, extend plays. He used to be one of the best at it. He just can't do it. And the Ravens can't play great pass defense, probably because we get into a pass rush to begin with, right? The secondary didn't look good last week against Malik Willis. Hasn't looked great all season. The pass rush just isn't getting home. So I'm not sure exactly how to fix it, but we may as well just send 8 guys. We may as well just blitz. The Steelers are going to try to do some short, quick plays, and we just can't let anything develop here. We can't let Rodgers start to get comfortable and hit the middle of the field. I would just blitz nonstop. I know it's not the philosophy typically of Harbaugh. It certainly hasn't been this year. McDonald executed a ton of blitzes where it felt like it was a blitz / we just didn't know who was coming. We had a lot of guys that were free getting to the quarterback. It obviously hasn't been like that the past couple of years. Tonight you got to blitz. You can't let Rodgers. It can't be a chess game. You just can't do it. So that's my first thought. And then on the other side of the ball, the thing that makes Lamar, and look, the more I think about it, I'd rather Huntley be the quarterback tonight because I don't know if Lamar is willing to run. And the way you beat the Steelers, the way, frankly, the Ravens are built and becomes unstoppable once the team has no idea if they're handing the ball off or not. Derrick Henry is fantastic. Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry. But now it's all Derrick Henry gets the attention, especially if you're the Steelers tonight. You can't afford the last game of the season to do anything but sell out against Derrick Henry. So the read option it's just the golden play for Lamar. It's been the golden play since he entered the league. It's what makes him one of one, where you don't know if he's doing one of three things. And all three of those things are great for the Ravens, which is handing the ball to Derrick Henry, keeping the ball himself, or throwing the ball. And he is unstoppable once he gets into rhythm and the defense is playing on its heels. Because if the defense has no idea what's happening, and that's what was going on with the Packers last week. Is Huntley going to keep it? Or is he going to throw 7 yards to Andrews? Or are they just going to run the football? And you're just playing with this. All it takes is a half a second. These guys are amazing. They're all relatively the same at football to make it to this level. So it's just the little things. It's just between the offensive line and the defensive line, getting your hands on the linebackers, blah, 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 blah. It's all about Lamar, the mystery of what's Lamar going to do with the football. And if he's willing to do that, if that's part of the game plan tonight, I see the Ravens winning this game because Pittsburgh's going to have to play from behind. And if they have to play from behind, Rodgers can be in trouble. But if Lamar's not willing to do that and they want to do a combination of dropbacks and straight handoffs, I just don't think Derrick Henry is going to be able to run all over Pittsburgh in the first half. Maybe in the second half when they wear down a little bit, but in the first half, you're going to have to do misdirections. You're going to have a couple deep balls to push back those safeties, and we'll see if it can happen. My prediction tells me it's going to be a 3-point game because it just feels like that's where that's the history. Tyler Loop has been pretty solid. I trust him to make some big kicks. I think he's going to have to make some big kicks. I think the red zone defense for both teams is going to be the difference here. I would expect the game to go under. I expect it to be, unfortunately, probably a lot of turnovers. It's going to be the intensity in this game tonight is going to be epic. So it should be a ton of fun. I'll talk about everything tomorrow, but yeah, I don't know if the offenses are going to get going on either direction here. The Ravens have to get after Aaron Rodgers. They have to do, even if it leaves one-on-one coverage, it doesn't matter against this particular team. They have to blitz. All right, there you go. That's my thoughts. I got, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bets, and then actually 6 bets. 5 games, 6 bets, and let's go through it. So the games I'm not playing, the Vikings are favored by 10.5 against the Packers because nobody's playing for the Packers, and it just feels like a weird game. So if you want to take the Packers, you go ahead. It doesn't really make too much sense to take the Packers, but it also doesn't make too much sense to take the Vikings. The total is only 37.5. Packers are locked into the 7 seed. Yeah, so it's like they're going to rest everybody. The Vikings have nothing to play for. It's just a weird game. I think the Vikings would like to win, build some confidence with J.J. McCarthy, but then again, who knows? So staying away from that one. Cowboys-Giants. The Giants are probably not trying to win. On a side note, there's 7 teams that have all been decided to be the top 7 teams. The order is up in the air for the draft, but 7 teams are locked in to being the top 7. The Giants are one of them. They're the only team that could potentially catch the Raiders to be the 1 seed, but their loss to their win over the Raiders last week pretty much canceled that. I think it's the Giants. I don't even know now. But anyway, the Raiders are most likely going to get the 1 seed because they're going to find a way to lose today to the Chiefs. And then even if they do win, a couple extra things have to happen. So anyway, back to the Giants-Cowboys. I'm not betting this game. The field's terrible. Cowboys are favored by 3. So anyway, not betting that one. Saints-Falcons. It's the most important game of the 1 o'clock schedule because of the nonsense going on with Carolina and Tampa. So if the Falcons win, then the Panthers are in. And if the Saints win, the Bucs are in. Falcons favored by 3.5. Not really sure how to bet Falcons games. You would think the Falcons would win and cover. But, just based on the way they beat the Rams last week. But the Saints have been playing good. I really don't know. I really don't care. It's just one of those situations where it feels disgusting that, this is what it's come down to is the Panthers and Bucs can't find ways to win the division themselves. So yeah, like I said, if the Falcons win and the Panthers are in, the Saints win, the Bucks are in, I don't really know what the motivation is in this game, so I'll stay away from it. And yeah, I want to bet the Titans, but I refuse to do it. So Titans, Jags, I'll stay away from. At 1 o'clock, as the Jags still need to win in order to secure the 3 seed. And the Titans, they're probably playing with absolutely nothing to lose with Cam Ward and a coach that's not going to get the job. So who knows what the hell happens in that game. Staying away from those. The ones I do like at 1 o'clock is I'm going to bite on the Texans. I haven't bet the Texans in a couple months now. I liked the Texans when they were 0-3. I remember saying, if I had to bet one team here that could still win the Super Bowl, let alone make the playoffs, it'd still be the Texans because they played a tough schedule. And I just like the fundamentals of the Texans. Now that we're approaching the playoffs, yeah, I'm pretty impressed. And they're, they haven't blown out anybody, especially last week. Wasn't very good. But they're facing a Colts team that I just don't think can score. I think the Colts are officially dead. It's completely depressing what happened to them. Phillip couldn't save the day. They traded for Sauce Gardner. It's just been a really bad vibe situation for the Colts. I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, but I think the Texans are just going to kick their ass. So -10.5, I'll take the Texans. And then in the Browns-Bengals, I feel really good about the over in this game. It's 45.5. I think the Browns played the best defensive game they possibly could have played last week as they beat the Steelers. They had a lot to play for. They really wanted to win that game. Now it's a letdown week. They don't have really anything to play for. And the Bengals offense is so much better than the Steelers offense. I think the Bengals will score, they could score 30 by themselves. And then on the other side, the Bengals defense is terrible. Shedeur is going to play with nothing to lose, which means anything could happen. I expect points in that game. So I go with the over. 4 o'clock. Staying away from Chiefs Raiders because the Raiders are trying to lose. I don't know what the Chiefs are doing, but the Raiders are definitely trying to lose, and I don't want to bet the Chiefs. So it's 4.5 points. I'll stay away from that. The Bears have to win. They don't want to do a situation where all this hard work and beating the Eagles on the road, what was that, Black Friday, would result in them having to go back to Philly in the second round of the playoffs. So right now they get the 2 seed as long as they beat the Lions. The thing that kind of makes me I'm staying away from it is the Bears are only favored by 3.5. I feel like the Lions match up pretty well with the Bears. I don't know what the Lions' motivation is as they just completely tanked this season. So I'm going to stay away from it. I know the Bears want to win this game. They better win the game because the Eagles most likely are going to win their game, even though they're resting people. They're getting a terrible Commanders team. So Eagles -4.5 against Commanders. I'm also staying away from that. Just weird things going on. I'd rather not bet those games because, it's a quarterback situation. I think it's Tanner, whatever his name is, Tanner McKee, I think, for the Eagles. So, yeah, I would bet the Eagles if I have to, but I'll stay away from that one. And I'll stay away from Chargers-Broncos. Trey Lance will be the quarterback. Chargers they do still have stuff to play for, but they're resting a lot of guys, including Justin Herbert. Broncos have to win, so you think they would, but I wouldn't give 14 points, except it's Trey Lance, and I don't know if he can play quarterback. So I will stay away from it, and that leaves me with 3 games here at 4 o'clock, starting with the Bills. Love the Bills. Bills are minus, I think I'm going to see 7.5 here against the Jets. I don't care if they bench Josh Allen halfway through the first quarter or whatever they do, because the Bills are going to win this game. It's going to be fun. It's the last home game for them, and the Jets are terrible. So I don't care who the Bills put out there. The defense will play well enough to force some turnovers. I'll take the Bills -7.5, and I'll bet the Jets under points, most likely. I'll probably have more than 5 bets, actually. I think I'm going to have 8 or 9 because I like a lot of these totals here. So Rams-Cardinals is my next game. Now the Rams have everything to play for. Rams might win this game by 50. They're -13.5. They destroyed the Cardinals last time they played them. They'll destroy them this time. Yeah, the Rams go from either playing the Panthers or Bucks to the Eagles. Or Bears. Either way, it's a complete difference. They'd rather play the Panthers or the Bucks. 100%. Panthers, as I said to start the pod, the Rams lost them the first time. I can't imagine that happens again. And then Tampa, it's like, man, go to warm weather and face Bucks defense that's just god-awful. So I would take the Rams by 100. I think that spread will go up. So if you're betting the Rams, bet that immediately. And then my favorite game of the day, though, is still going to be the Patriots. Patriots are playing the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going with Quinn Ewers. Maybe that worked against the Bucks last week. It's definitely not working this week. The Patriots have everything to play for. They want to lock in the 2 seed / they could get the 1 seed. Maybe the Chargers are keeping it close. I'm not really sure if the Patriots care about the 1 or, I mean, I'm sure they want the 1 seed, but I don't think they're going to take their foot off the gas here on a Dolphins team that just doesn't want to play this game. So and the Dolphins played well lately, but I remember what they looked like at Pittsburgh, even though Tua was the quarterback. I expect you to be terrible. So I'll take the Patriots to destroy the Dolphins. And yeah, I believe I got through them all, right? Yep. All right, so good luck. I'll be here in the morning. I'm going to need some sort of break in between here to get ready for this Ravens-Steelers game. But yeah, if you're betting the Ravens-Steelers tonight, God bless you. At least don't give 3.5. Don't do that. If you're going to bet Ravens, probably just give the 3. But, I know you're going to pay for it on the money line. It's probably about 2-1 odds. But yeah, it's a tricky situation. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're better off if you love the Ravens tonight. Just take the Ravens here for some future bets going to the playoffs because they win this game. I think they're going to make a run. So we shall see. Good luck. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I should probably breathe.